It's been a long time since I've done a kiln opening video. I took a little bit of a break from making ceramics for a couple of months, but I'm back at it. And so a few pieces that I had worked on are coming out of a glaze firing now. So I thought I would show them off. I do use a community kiln. I'm part of my local pottery guild. So some of the pieces in here are not mine, they're other artists that are part of the club. So I'll just be moving those off to the side, but any pieces that are mine I will show and give a little description. So let's get started. The pieces are still a little bit hot, so I am going to be wearing gloves while I unload this. So the first piece is one of mine, a giving plate. So these have been really popular for me around holidays like Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So I know it's only June, but I'm trying to get a jump start on Thanksgiving and Christmas that will be coming up, as I'm signed up for a few markets and also have my work available in a couple of local stores. So the giving plate says, "The giving plate, this plate has no owner. Use it to share recipes and memories with friends and family. Fill it with food and gift it to someone you care about. The next person repeats the cycle." So really nice pay it forward gift if you're a guest going somewhere for dinner or just to brighten somebody's day. These have been fantastic. So this one is glazed in Jessica Putnam Phillips Chun Blue. And these pieces belong to some of the other community members, so I'll just move them to the side. And the fun part of moving the shelves. So this shelf is all mine, and this one, the wording didn't really show very well, so I might try refiring this. This is another giving plate, and I used Amico's textured turquoise. So I did two what I thought were fairly thick coats on here. Maybe not thick enough, maybe too thick for in the lettering. So that did not turn out as I hoped. This is another one in Jessa's Chun Blue, and that one, the wording did come out nicely on. So that's a winner. And this one I believe I used Mako Turquoise Celadon. So it's a little bit lighter, and so the writing is nice and legible. Move that kiln furniture. So another giving plate, and this one was in Mako Sand and Sea. So a couple of the crystals came through as blue, but mostly this is the sand color. And I did a series of these textured plates, so I've got a few all different sizes. This was the only one that I did in blue rutile, another glaze by Amico, so it breaks nicely to show the texture of those flowers. And these are the little kiln posts that hold up each of the shelves. They come in lots of different sizes depending on how high the pieces are. Now onto another shelf. furniture got stuck to that one. And when that happens, you have to be very careful lifting the shelf so this does not fall on the pieces underneath. So these are more of those daisy patterned little plates I made, and these ones are in the Amico textured turquoise. So those came out a lot nicer than that giving plate. So the same glaze, maybe a little different, thicker, thinner application, but they came out fantastic. So a few different sizes of these. I think this makes a nice little sushi set. Put the soy sauce in here and you can have your sushi on that plate, or cheese and crackers or donuts, whatever you want. Smaller oval one that goes with the bigger oval I already unloaded, and more of the little rectangles. And just a nice little round one. So I did a refire on some of my older pieces in here. If you're not familiar with ceramics, you're able to, after something has been glaze fired, which is usually the final firing for a piece, you can always go back and add more glaze to it, or sometimes you don't even have to, and you can refire it, which is just putting it back in the kiln at whatever temperature you're wanting to do, usually a glaze fire temperature. And so I applied different glazes on top of some older pieces to see what would happen. And maybe it will make them better, maybe it won't. Either way, they were kind of in my trash to be smashed pile, so I figured I'd give it a try before I toss them. And I made the mistake of not taking before pictures. So this one didn't really change a whole lot. So it was Amico Cobalt Celadon, which is kind of a navy blue that's really glossy, and then Tangelo over some underglaze decals in the middle. And then I refired it by putting Amico blue rutile over top of everything. So it didn't really do a whole lot to the middle, but the blue parts now have a greenish shimmer to them. Kind of looks like there might have been some bloating. There's little spots that weren't there before, but I kind of like it better than it was. So this one was this same white glaze that's on the outside here was inside, and I added blue rutile. So it did give it a nice blue sheen to it. So I changed that one a little bit. And this one had some pinholes in it. Pinholes are little spots that probably show up in the camera here. So I tried refiring it to fix that, and I had applied Amico blue rutile, so there's a little blue dot in the middle where all of the new glaze kind of collected, but it didn't really fix my problem. Still a cute little dish to use for storing earrings or something that's not going to be food. So these ones changed a lot. I did not have a before, but this one was kind of a creamy rust. So it was like an off-white with rust-colored speckles on this side. And then this side was more just a solid rust, and then kind of an overlap that had turned dark brown. And I put blue rutile over the whole thing, and it all just kind of went brown. But it's a little, I don't know, seems to match a little bit better than what it was before. These next few pieces belong to some of the community members. These aren't mine, but they're really cute, and I hope Patty doesn't mind me showing them off. She made some little espresso cups. They're so cute. She's a hand builder like me, so we love to incorporate texture into our work. This is where it gets interesting because I'm only 5'3", so I have a hard time getting to the lower shelves in this kiln. And because of that, I try to put some of the taller pieces at the bottom so I don't have to reach down as far. Normally, the rule of thumb is you would put tall things on the top so that you're not having really tall stilts or kiln furniture like those posts that I showed earlier. You don't want them too tall near the bottom because as you add more layers, it gets heavier and you don't want it to wobble and definitely don't want it to fall. So I kind of go backwards sometimes, but I didn't have really huge things down here. These would be the biggest ones, which are about 6.5 inches, my license plate beer steins. So I had fired these in our club cream rust glaze, and I wasn't really happy with them because they came out more rusty and not as much creamy. So I tried refiring, but it didn't really change them. So not exactly what I wanted, but I'm sure somebody will like them. They just look like a rusty license plate, which is kind of what I'm going for. So these ones have more of the cream to them, and I just like the lighter color. It seems to show the texture of the antique license plates better. Still look nice. Definitely like when it comes out lighter though. Maybe it's thicker here. These are a few more of my refires. So this one I had refired and put some blue rutile on top, trying to get kind of a blue sky look, and so there is a little bit of that bluish gray that's showing. Not as much as I had hoped for, but still nice. And then this one I had done the bubble glaze technique on, and so, but I wasn't happy with the inside because you could feel the bubbles of underglaze through the clear glaze that was over top. So again, I used Amico blue rutile. I had a bottle of it that I was just trying to use up, so that's why I just used that for a lot of these. So it did, I think, fix the inside issue that I was having. It does look a lot smoother and a little more cohesive in the color. This was another one that was a refire. I tried a technique of just taking a flat slab and pinching it together and then cutting the handle out rather than attaching one. So this is all from one piece of clay and then the bottom. But when I fired it the first time, there was a little bit inside that didn't have the glaze, so it wasn't food safe. So again, using that blue rutile that I was wanting to use up, I put that inside and it has filled in the gap that was in the seal here. So that does appear to be fully glazed now, so yay. My goal was achieved. And I put a little bit on the outside here too, just to give it a little ombre effect over that texture. Another one that was refired with some Amico blue rutile. So I've got more blue on the inside. Before that was kind of the Amico seaweed green, which kind of a brownish green. So that blue is a lot prettier now. And so these are some roller derby decals that I had used. And so these were again a refire. So I originally had Amico Wasabi Celadon is the green over here, and then I had used, I think it was Mako Robin's Egg, which is a matte glaze for the rim. And so it didn't really run as much as I wanted and just didn't look that great. So I added some Mako Lime Showers crystal glaze on top, and that definitely got it dripping a little bit more. You can see there are some of the green speckles from the lime showers inside. But I am happier with this now. It has ran a little bit more. And this one, that same Amico Wasabi on the outside, but I had used, and I don't remember which Mako one it was. It was another matte glaze on the rim and it didn't really look that great. So I added lime showers to this one. Still not 100% sold on it, but better than what it was. At least now it's a shiny, glossy finish on the lip. And the last one is another refire. It was kind of an experimental kiln load since I didn't have a whole lot of new stuff in there. So this I had painted with underglaze on the outside and then kind of splattered, not on purpose, some of the black glaze originally. And again, I had that same pinholing issue, so I applied more Amico blue rutile over top to try to fix it, and I still see a whole bunch of pinholes in there, so might just be a trinket dish for me to throw keys and loose change, because it can still be used for something, just not for food. So that is everything out of this kiln load. Thank you very much for watching.